Me Daily. Today our topic is T cells, and we're going to start by talking about helper T cells. Take it away.
I love T cells.
Yeah, right? I play an essential role in adaptive immunity by mobilizing B cells to produce antibodies. I was born in the red blood marrow and grew up in the deep thymus on CD4 Street, where I majored in immunocompetence and self-tolerance. I was still naive though, so I found work in the lymph nodes where I met my arch nemesis, antigens. Now I spend my days passing out cytokines and helping out B cells and T cells alike.
Okay, so now that we know about helper T cells, we are going to learn about cytotoxic T cells next.
Killer cells.
Yeah, scary.
Hey, I'm a cytotoxic T cell. They used to call me CD8 on the streets. Now I spend my days roaming through blood and lymph in search of body cells I can take down. My preferred targets are viruses. I hate them. But I'm always down to murder some cancer cells and parasites. I had a similar upbringing as helper, but I decided to take a darker path. Before I deliver the lethal hit with the use of perforins and granzymes, I bind to the self-non-self receptor on my target.
That was some great stuff. Now we have the regulatory T cell.
This is a very interesting topic.
I love this topic. Helper T and I had very similar childhoods and even grew up on the same street. I've always got my good friend Cytotoxic's back. I'm always there to calm him down when he goes off on too hearty of a killing spree. I just shoot some cytokines at him and that usually helps. Or talk to the interleukins to stop helping him and to stop helping the B cells from producing antibodies. I am good at preventing autoimmune reactions.
Our next topic is going to be B cells. I know it's technically not a T cell, but it's very important in cell-mediated immunity.
That it is, Alyssa.
Yes, so true.
Hey, I'm a B cell. My helper T cells bind to my antigen fragments, and then my friend helper T cells release cytokines to help me divide more rapidly. And then helper T cells make me produce more antibodies. They push me to my full potential, and for that I am really grateful.
Right. So Carly, could you tell us more about T cells?
Of course I can. T cells can only be activated by antigen-presenting cells. It is a two-step process of antigen binding and co-stimulation. Both steps are required for clonal stimulation. T-cell antigen receptors bind to an antigen MHC complex on the surface of an APC where it must recognize the self-antigen and foreign antigen.
All right, ladies, so now we've got a great clip of antigen binding process.
Ooh, Howard, could you roll that?
Yeah, Howard.
Can't wait to
please.
see it.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm an antigen presenting cell.
And I'm a cytotoxic T cell.
Check out my binding site.
And I'm gonna bind to that. Once the non-self-self complex is recognized, the T cell is on its way to activation. At this point, the T cell is stimulated, but in order to form a clone, it must bind to co-stimulatory signals.
After antigen binding, T cells are kind of just hanging out. So in order to get out into the world defending the body, they need to bind to co-stimulatory factors, which appear on antigen-presenting cells and damaged tissue cells, making T cells able to form some clones and better attack their targets. If they don't bind to co-stimulatory factors and only bind to their antigen, they could become tolerant of the antigen. Once bound to its antigen and co-stimulatory factors, cytokines promote T cells to enlarge and proliferate.
Oh, thank you,
You're
Carly.
welcome.
Here's a clip of all the T cells working together to get rid of the foreign invader.
Hit it, Howard.
I'm a cancer cell. I'm getting ready to invade. Trying to stop me. Hey, Cyto! You see that cancer cell over there? Causing a ruckus? I see him. We should go kill him. Come on in. Okay. All right. Hey, B cell. Hi. You see that cancer cell over there? Yeah, I saw it. You should probably produce some antibodies for it. Okay. Cool.
And now, here's Alyssa with some information about MHC class 1 proteins.
Virally infected, or in this case cancer cells, are an example of endogenous infections, and in order to eradicate them, cytotoxic T cells must be presented with the foreign antigens in the context of MHC class I proteins.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Back to the action.
This body ain't big enough for the two of us. Hey! Get off me! Cyto! Have some cytokines. It's over now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, man. He's gone.
So, after the cancer cell goes through apoptosis, what happens to the cytotoxic T cell?
Well, the cytotoxic T cell will now either die himself or remain a memory cell in the blood waiting for his antigen to return. Without helper T cells, though, there's no adaptive immune response. As you can see,
T cells rule!